Hey guys, and welcome back to Trying to with Leah. In today's video, we are talking about something that has changed the way that I move through my life, and that is showing up for yourself consistently. Now, I know that that probably sounds like one of those phrases that really gets thrown around a lot online. Show up for yourself, be there for yourself, choose yourself. But what does that actually mean? What does that look like in real life on a random Tuesday when you are exhausted and you're overwhelmed and you're doubting yourself or you're just trying not to spiral? That's what we're diving into today. Because this isn't just a cute concept, it's an actual skill. And it's one that I have had to learn the hard way. So, throughout your life, you've probably had at least one person that you could actually count on. Someone who showed up for you when you needed it most. Maybe it was somebody who listened to you when nobody else was willing to. Maybe it was somebody who defended you. Maybe it was somebody who vouched for you when your reputation was on the line. Maybe it was a family member, or maybe it was a friend. If you've experienced that, you know how powerful it feels to feel seen, to feel supported, protected. But here's the thing, even if you haven't had that, even if it's been years since you've had somebody that you could actually truly count on, you can become that person for yourself. And I know that sounds cheesy, but listen, Miley Cyrus did literally say it best. You can buy yourself flowers, and yes, you can even hold your own hand. So, what does it actually look like to show up for yourself? First off, it means recognizing when you need something. It means noticing, I need support. I need understanding. I need compassion. I need rest. I need boundaries. I need accountability. It starts with awareness because if you don't recognize your own needs, you cannot meet them. Showing up for yourself is saying, I see you. I see that you're overwhelmed. I see that you're hurting. I see that you're exhausted. And instead of just ignoring that voice, you respond to it. It means allowing yourself to feel things instead of just suppressing them. One of my favorite sayings is feel it, heal it, and let it go. It means sitting with your emotions long enough to understand them instead of just numbing them. And it means becoming your own safe place. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. Showing up for yourself once is totally doable, easy. Showing up for yourself consistently, that takes work. Consistency means showing up for yourself even in the middle of conflict. And if you're anything like me, conflict is hard. I strongly dislike conflict. Arguments tend to throw me straight into survival mode. It becomes either defend yourself constantly or just completely shut down. And for a long time, there was no in between for me. And definitely, if you're an ex people pleaser, that makes it even harder because suddenly protecting your peace feels like you're looking for a fight. Setting boundaries feels aggressive. Saying that something doesn't work for me feels selfish. But showing up for yourself consistently means you show up in those uncomfortable conversations too. It means that you stick up for yourself. You defend yourself when it's needed. You don't shrink to keep somebody else comfortable. And you treat yourself like a priority. And that's hard. especially if you have spent years believing that your only job was to keep everybody else happy. Okay, now let's talk about something even harder. Showing up for yourself also means forgiving yourself. And I don't know about you, but I have made some mistakes. Big ones, small ones, embarrassing ones, painful ones. And sometimes the hardest part isn't what other people think, it's what you think about yourself afterward. Holding grudges against yourself, replaying the past, wishing that you could go back and change things. But here's the truth: you cannot show up for somebody that you secretly hate. If you are constantly punishing yourself for who you used to be, you're going to struggle to support who you're becoming. Forgiveness isn't pretending it didn't happen. It's saying I did the best I could with the awareness that I had at that time. And once you truly forgive yourself, it becomes easier to like yourself again. And once like turns back into love, showing up for yourself becomes natural because you protect what you love. Imagine treating yourself the way you treat your best friend. Shout out Alicia. If your best friend made a mistake, would you tell them that they are worthless? Would you tell them that they'll never change? Would you tell them that they just ruin everything? No, because then you probably wouldn't have a best friend anymore. You would say, it's okay. You messed up. You can learn from it, and then we can do better next time. Showing up for yourself means saying, hey, be nice to my friend when that friend is you. It means recognizing the patterns in your own behavior and deciding, I don't want this pattern anymore. It means understanding that you don't need somebody to come in and save you. You can save yourself. You can change your own habits. You can shift your own mindset. You can choose better moving forward. And that doesn't mean that you'll be perfect because no one is. But it does mean that you'll be intentional. And that is a huge change. So there's something else I want to talk to you about. Recently, I saw something on social media that had been going around that said some people don't have the privilege to heal. The argument was basically this: you can't heal unless you have money for therapy, or a perfectly safe environment, or time off, or a space to rest, or the right resources, or this or that. And I understand where that idea comes from. Of course, access to therapy is definitely a privilege. Financial stability is a privilege. Having a safe home environment is a privilege. Those things absolutely make healing easier. But I don't believe that they are requirements for healing. In fact, I think that believing that can become a trap. Because if you tell yourself, I can't heal until I have X, Y, or Z, you are handing your power away. You are keeping yourself from being able to heal. You're saying that your growth is conditional. And I don't think that's true. You do not have to have money to begin healing. You do not have to have a therapist to begin healing. You do not have to have a perfectly quiet, peaceful life to begin healing. You can begin right where you are, right now. Healing is not always some big aesthetic, candlelit journaling session. Sometimes it's sitting on the edge of your bed after a long day and saying, okay, what am I feeling right now? Sometimes healing is not reacting the way that you usually would. Sometimes healing is staying in the room emotionally instead of running for the door. For a long time, whenever I felt something overwhelming, like anxiety or shame or anger, my instinct was to escape, scroll, distract, avoid, shut down. But real healing started when I learned to sit with it, to sit with my emotions long enough that they were not screaming at me anymore. Because emotions are loud when we ignore them, and they get louder the more we run. But when you sit with them, when you let them exist, when you let yourself feel them without judging them, they start to quiet down. They soften. And in that softening, you can actually process them. You don't need a perfectly safe space to rest. You can create safety internally. You can tell yourself, I am safe in this moment. I can handle this feeling. This emotion will pass. And that is showing up for yourself. Now, I'm not saying that therapy isn't valuable, because it absolutely is. If you have access to it, you should absolutely use it if you think it will benefit you. But don't believe the lie that you are incapable of healing without it. You are not powerless. Healing begins the moment you decide to stop running from yourself, and that decision is free. Some people will live their entire lives believing they aren't worthy, believing that they've messed up too much, believing they're too broken, believing it's too late. But I see it differently. The fact that you're here and alive means that you are meant to be here. You are a part of existence, and that alone makes you worthy. Not your productivity, not your perfection, not your achievements. Your existence is enough. So instead of feeling down on yourself for what you've done in the past, look at it, learn from it, accept it, and choose better from here. Choose to show up for yourself consistently. If you're struggling with this, I want you to make a commitment with me right now. You can say it out loud, you can say it in your head, or you can type it in the comments, but let's say it together. I commit to being there for myself. I commit to my own self-worth. I commit to becoming a better person. Now, here's your challenge for the week. Notice where you're already showing up for yourself and where you aren't. Ask yourself, where do I need support right now? And what is one small thing that I can do to fill that gap? If you're here and you're doing this work, thank you. You are rare, you are amazing, and you are worthy. And you're changing the world one choice at a time. Because life really does get better when you try. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for being here.